So for this week, I don't actually have anything new, and I thought it would be a good idea to do a compilation with all of my spreads from the graphic novel notebook. I feel that I haven't given enough emphasis on it, and I think it just deserves a whole video on its own. So I thought I would just go ahead and show some of the spreads from the graphic novel notebook, and this is sort of a compilation of me writing the text and sketching and then drawing with a pen. I really wanted to work on the graphic novel notebook, but at this point it's not one of my priorities. It's more like a hobby. So of course work comes first and I can't really work on it. But I just think that it's so worth my time, and I will try for next weekend to do a new spread because I just really miss the whole process of it, sketching and sort of challenging myself to draw new things that I've never drawn before. And honestly, what really helped me to do this, to draw things that I've never drawn before and to just sort of go for it, is to keep reminding myself that it doesn't have to be perfect. I keep reminding myself that while I'm drawing. Every time I make a mistake or every time it comes out not exactly what I envisioned, I just keep reminding myself that this does not have to be perfect. And it just takes the pressure away and it lets me just be creative and enjoy the moment. And honestly, it doesn't have to be perfect. And I think a way to do that, a way to convince yourself that this does not have to be the best drawing you've ever done or a perfect drawing or anything like that, is to basically, it's not lying to yourself, it's just admitting that this is practice, right? And for me, especially when I draw something new, completely new that I've never done before, of course it's practice, and of course it's not gonna look perfect and it's gonna come out wonky, or it's gonna come out as something that I did not expect. Just reminding myself and grounding myself in the moment and just recognize what this is, and this is practice. This is just me being a student basically and learning how to draw, practicing. And to me the most important thing is that it is a form of meditation, because every time that I draw or sketch, or even when I write the text, my breathing sort of slows down and my heartbeat slows down and there's no thoughts in my head. Like the only thing that I'm thinking about is what I'm doing in the moment. And I think that is the most amazing form of meditation, because at the same time, I mean, meditation is amazing, don't get me wrong, it's really good for your brain. It's something that we should be doing daily, and there's a lot of studies on that. But I think that combining creativity with meditation, I think that's just a way more advanced meditation in a way. And the fact that something comes out of it at the end of the day, that is so fulfilling. And to me, no exaggeration, it really gives my life meaning. Everything that I do, the drawings, the text, especially the graphic novel notebook, because there's an actual story behind it and a whole world, really. It's not just a story. So many characters, so many details, and I feel that I'm just being transported into this whole new world where there's magic and there is monsters and creatures and spells and all of those things. It definitely makes life way less boring. I get a similar feeling when I watch movies and series, but when you're part of the creation, it's just so much more intense. And I think it's so much easier for you to get lost in it. And I think that if you love reading books, I think you should totally go for writing your own story. Whether it's like a very short story or a whole book, I think it's so worth it. And even if you just get started and never finish it, I think it's worth it. It's worth to go for it because it's such a unique experience. And I think it's something that we sort of experience at school because it is part of our schooling to write stories and to imagine things. But I don't think that as children we can be as intentional as we can be as adults. So I think it's a really amazing experience that people should try, whether this is your hobby or not. Personally, I really love to try a bunch of different things, and I have tried a few different things in the past as hobbies, like different hobbies and activities and interests. And I think that if you don't try, not everything, but a lot of things, how are you going to discover your talents? How are you going to discover your interests? And I don't think that you should be good at what you like to do. I don't think that you should have talent for it necessarily, as long as you enjoy it. I don't think we should use that as a measure to find what we like to do. I like to draw and I like to write. I'm not perfect at it. I don't have a talent for it. I just did it. I just started practicing, and I was practicing for years before I got to this point where it's not even perfect, not even sort of good enough. I don't know, like it's not professional and it's not like everything you see out there. But for me, it's like the best that I have done my entire life, and it took me years. I mean, it took a whole decade of practicing and sketching just to get to the point where I'm finally happy with what I'm drawing. Again, I don't think that we should be judging ourselves so harshly, and that is the most important part that I've learned, to not judge myself. But I used to judge myself a lot. I used to be very critical of my art, and I feel that that kept me back for so many years, because I could be practicing a lot more. I could have started this hobby or sort of embrace it as my favorite hobby much earlier in life if I wasn't such a perfectionist. So yeah, I think that the most important thing that you can practice is self-compassion. And it's not like lying to yourself, because it's true. You are practicing. You are going to make mistakes. And that's okay, because that's part of practicing. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Nobody has to see it either. So just go for it. Just do a little bit every day, and soon enough you will see yourself improving and also feeling more comfortable doing it without criticizing yourself. So yeah, I highly recommend that you start doodling and drawing and just having this as part of your life. I highly recommend practicing self-compassion and just staying away from perfectionism, and just give it a try, whatever it is that you want to do, whether that's drawing or writing a novel or pottery or spearfishing, whatever it may be, just go for it. Give yourself a chance to practice and to focus on enjoying what you're doing and not focusing on the results. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.